We're going to do a little special edition of the Unpluggered podcast today, and we're going to speak to someone that might have unlocked the secret to every quiz show that's ever existed. If you could nominate a particular topic, you nominate the Saints, I think we'd be winning cars and overseas holidays and wads of cash and everything. But Sarah Glenister joins us fresh from victory on the ABC's Hard Quiz, where her topic of choice was the mighty Saints, something we can all relate to. Sarah, congratulations, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Nick. Darren, thanks for having me.
Can you take us through, I guess, how that came to be? How long is the process between obviously applying and then getting on the show and then choosing a topic?
Sure. So, like all of us in recent times in lockdown, your mind goes to funny places. And sitting watching an episode of Hard Quiz one night, I said to my partner, I said, I reckon I could give that a crack, and jumped on and had a look at all the categories that had been explored so far on Hard Quiz. No one had been silly enough to select the Saints as their category. So I just thought, for a laugh, I'd just give it a crack and see how it went, and then managed to get an audition and went through a bit of a initial quiz there, then sort of waited for a call back, not expecting I would. Got one, had a bit of a chat just about the Saints and my I suppose supporterness, being a Saints fan, and then got the call up, and we filmed the episode in, I think, September last year, so it's been a little while.
Sarah, what are some of the questions that they asked you in that preliminary quiz to see if you were suitable, to see if you were St Kilda enough? What were some of the questions that they asked you at that point?
Well, the main question they asked is, are you comfortable if you get on if it's St Kilda entire? Because I think when I originally applied, I sort of said, maybe, post 2000 would be my area. And I said, yeah, sure. But in the interview, really, they just wanted to know why I was a St Kilda supporter, which is a genuine fair question. But yeah, it was more just to talk about following the Saints and how long, and that was really the go. Really, it was very much like chucked in the deep end when we got on. It said basically, if you back yourself as a Saints fan, let's test your knowledge. So
yeah, basically it's got to the point where I go, okay, now I don't have to do it anymore, because I think I've watched Hard Quiz since the very first episode religiously, and many times gone to myself, I should do that. Then I look on Wednesday night and, St Kilda, there it goes. I've lost that now. So, basically, as I say, the questions that got thrown at you, did you study up much? Did you sort of go, no, I'm just going to go in there, I can back myself, or did you do a bit of little rereading the night before sort of thing, or?
To be honest, because I applied as a bit of a laugh, I didn't want to take it too seriously. I just wanted to go in and give it a crack, and if I was publicly humiliated on television, then in the name of following the Saints, then so be it. I tried to get my head around a couple of key dates, thinking maybe when the club was established and all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, I just thought, throw caution to the wind and just give it a crack.
In terms of the trophy, I know they made the joke afterwards that you're going to drop it down to Moorabbin and stick it in the cabinet. Have you had a chance to do that, or has it got pride of place at home somewhere?
Well, I must say, I teach at a campus of almost 300 Year 9 boys. And, anything that you can do to garner a little bit of street cred with those boys is only going to be beneficial. So I must say, until Moorabbin comes knocking on my door looking for it, I'm going to sit at pride of place in my classroom, so that any kid wants to challenge me, I'll just say, sorry, just hold on a sec, fellas, I'll just need to pick up my mug. So yeah, I must say that's where it is at the minute.
Sarah, how do you feel, you're in some pretty illustrious company. You've got Doc Baldock and Alan Jeans. There's a number of preseason competitions. You've got Nick Rewald on Celebrity MasterChef, and now there's Sarah Glenister on Hard Quiz. How do you feel about being one of the very, very few to lead the Saints to glory?
Very uncomfortable to be considered in that company. I'd say the equivalent would be me and Grant Thomas and Lenny holding the Wizard Cup, in the WOP, just sort of going.
They look similar.
Anything that we can do to sort of put St Kilda on the right track and, bring any sort of good omen before the season suits me. So that's how I'm going to see it.
How did you go with Tom? He tried getting under your skin a little bit as that was sort of the whole thought of, if ever St Kilda's fan gets on there, he's going to have a bit of a crack, I think. So I was imagining jokes at some points going on. I can imagine this joke's going to come up and that sort of thing. And he gave it a go, but you certainly gave back plenty. And how was there anything like left out on that? How was the actual interaction during the filming?
Yeah, to be honest, I think, like yourself, Aaron, sorry, I've been a hard quiz fan for a long while, and knowing sort of what I'm getting myself in for, being a St Kilda supporters, as we all are, I think, a thick skin is a prerequisite, number one. And also, I must say as well, the boys at school, it's the first thing they'll get stuck into me about every year. I have a whole bunch of stuff up in the classroom just to state my case early so that they know. And yeah, really, what Tom threw at me is quite tame versus what the boys have thrown at me across the journey. So no, I think you just got to wear it, and whoever's on hard quiz taking themselves too seriously, I think needs to probably reconsider.
Yeah, as you say, there's nothing that can get through us Saints fans. We've got a pretty resilient skin with everything, especially watching everyone else win the flag, like Melbourne, Richmond, and the Bulldogs. Yeah. There's no level of pain that we can't endure. On that, you mentioned at the start, they wanted to know how you came to be a Saints fan. Can you sort of take us through that journey, and I guess how often you get the chance to go? I know none of us really have for 2 years, but generally speaking.
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of 3 girls. My older sister was poached first and was a Collingwood supporter. The way that my dad tells the story is that there's this really, and we still have it, this really tacky, sort of very, very polyester, very flammable, Trevor Barker inspired doll with a massive mop of blonde hair and, Saints, Guernsey and angel wings. That went into my older sister's cradle, and she kicked it out, and it went into mine, and I fell asleep on it. So that my fate was sealed then. So I harassed my dad to take me to the footy when I was young, and he said, if we're going to go, you have to go for St Kilda. I said, yeah, okay. And so then I've been a member since 98, 99. And our first year, no, it was 99, because our first year going regularly was the first year of Colonial Stadium. So I've been sitting in the same seats at Colonial Stadium, Etihad, Telstra Dome, Marvel, Docklands since 2000. We've got a great little supporter pack there, just on the wing, on the city side of the Docklands Stadium. And so yeah, we really get around to every home game. And most away games in Melbourne. Can't get enough. The last couple of years have been pretty tricky, of course, for all of us with getting to the games and whatnot, but I'm in a lucky position in terms of my employment's been really stable. Being a teacher, I've been able to still contribute my membership to the club and offer my support that way, and be able to sit on the couch with a couple of party pies and watch us from afar.
Sarah, you were able to answer questions around the 66 grand final, around the comeback against the Dogs, even a Pride game question. What's your favourite St Kilda moment?
Oh, that's a really good question, Nick. To be honest, it's the moments where you can close your eyes and you can still see where you were sitting. So for me, it was probably the 09 prelim against the Dogs. Sitting, again, can close my eyes, can see it, sitting on the wing in front of where Dal rushed the ball over the line and kicked it to the square for wherever we put it through. So probably that one. I think probably the closest euphoria to the ultimate victory. And just being excited for the week to come. But yeah, really, being a St Kilda supporter, those kind of successes are far and in between, but I really like any memory where we've had a really good win, and all the fans are up and about. is really, those are the best memories, I reckon.
And has that inspired you for any more conquests? The Millionaire, or I don't know, the cheap version, the Chaser, whatever it is, or anything like that?
Oh, you know, I feel like my knowledge of, well, some aspects of St Kilda by no means sort of suggests that I'm a genius or an expert, but I feel like unless Hot Seat has a St Kilda section or an episode, then I don't know, I better just probably keep my mug and sail off into the sun.
Yeah, I did ask because you did steal a few of the other questions, so you did pretty well there. So the general knowledge wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I must confess, being an English teacher, when we filmed the episode, we were smack bang in the middle of our unit of To Kill a Mockingbird. So I must say, when I heard the other ladies category, I sort of went, oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
So this week's episode was actually Bob Murray, so trivia around the 66 grand final on our program as well. But small world, I think I was in a very similar position in that 09 prelim when Dell centred that ball. I remember being in that sort of pocket half forward flank area as well. But I was fascinated by the question around the sealer in the comeback game against the Western Bulldogs, or the final goal, because technically, I mean, obviously Hickey put the Saints in front and then Billings kicked the sealer, and I'm like, I wonder what he actually means in terms of which way to go. But you got there in the end. Was there a favourite question where you sort of sat there and nodded your head and thought, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that? I'm not sure too many people would have got that, but I've nailed it.
Yeah, Darren, it was probably that question, I think. I feel really vindicated in my football nerdiness, because, you know, it gets to a point, I feel, in the off season where, you know, I just find myself itching to go back through, you know, the replays and, you know, some highlights and YouTube, et cetera, but yeah, I think that was the question, because I remember watching, I've watched those second half highlights that many times. Yeah, and it just stuck with me. I thought, I can't believe this is going to be so niche, and I actually feel comfortable enough to be able to answer it. So yeah, that's the one.
Well, Sarah, congratulations. I believe, without knowing for sure, that would be the first piece of anything AFL-related silverware won for 2022 by anybody. So the fact that the Saints have got it first might be a good omen for the rest of the year. So thanks for setting the scene, and hopefully you've started the ball rolling for a big year. But congratulations, and yeah, you are very much one of us.
No, thanks so much, guys, for having me on. And yeah, let's hope it's the start of bigger and better things.